Hi, my name is Raina. I am the Community Engagement Specialist with the Etowah Foundation, and this is the Alumni Network podcast. In this podcast, we'll be interviewing former recipients, school administrators, and community supporters. But first, I will begin with telling you the history of the foundation itself. So beginning in 1982, the foundation started giving out scholarships to students in the Bartow County, Cartersville city area. And since then, we have given out over $6 million in scholarships to students in the area. But in 2022, everyone at the Etowah Foundation was like, how do we increase the impact of what we're doing? How do we serve students and families in the area more than we have in the past? In 2022, we decided to open future centers in all of the Bartow County and Cartersville City high schools. And what the future centers do is it is a full service center for students to go and get help for anything they might need for post-graduation. So that could look like applying for scholarships. That could be helping get your FAFSA filled out. That could be looking for jobs if a student isn't interested in going to college immediately and they want to go into the workforce. We help them fill out a resume. We help them curate a cover letter. And we help them look for jobs. In addition to scholarships and future centers, we also have the Bookmobile. The Bookmobile operates as a mobile literacy initiative. And since 2017, the Bookmobile has donated over 50,000 books to elementary age students in the Bartow County area. The Etowah Foundation strives to equip individuals in the county with financial resources, educational resources, and literacy initiatives for lifelong learning and success. Thank you so much for being here and enjoy today's episode. I am sitting here with Zach Pritchard from Pritchard Injury Firm. We're going to be talking about what he does in the community, how he supports the foundation, and a plethora of many other things. So let's get into it. Did you go to Cartersville High?
I did. Mm-hmm.
Nice. And so did Alexis as well. Oh my goodness. So for listeners meeting you for the first time, tell us who you are.
So I'm Zach Pritchard. You're exactly right. I've been here, oh my goodness gracious, over 30 years. I graduated from CHS, from Cartersville High School, in 2004. We own, of course, Pritchard Injury Firm. This is our main location. We have three, two in Georgia, one in Tennessee, Chattanooga, and then, of course, the one here, and then the one in Woodstock. So we have three locations, which is great. The firm started right here in Cartersville, and then we've just kind of expanded outward. Other than that, I always say I bleed purple. I mean, I absolutely love not only the Canes, but Bartow County in general. So, of course, I've been here and seen it in, it just almost what I would say an infant state. It was completely different 30 years ago than it is now. So we've got two beautiful girls that are growing up in this community just like, we both did. And it's a special spot. So we love it.
Awesome. So what originally pulled you into injury law?
So a couple of things. So it weirdly enough, my interest for law in general started when I was at Cartersville High School. I took a law class that one of my best friend's dad actually taught, the guy named Ken Foster. And then after that, I actually clerked or interned or whatever you say for now Court of Appeals Judge Jeff Watkins. Back then, he was doing real estate. It was White, Choate, and Watkins. And over the course of going to law school, I found this like affinity for medicine. I just really liked, anatomy and medicine and science and those kinds of things. And personal injury, what's really cool about that is you get to help people understand their injuries, understand how they're going to get better, and get them into, the hands of people who either I've gone to or my family has gone to or someone that I've known and has seen results. So really what got me into it was just the medicine. And then also, yes, I interned for a guy, Mike Prieto, who was up here. Mike's fantastic trial lawyer. I I liked Mike in general. He's kind of a gregarious guy. He's like loud. He's a great trial lawyer. And so I was like, wow, this kind of marries my personality and the things that I love, which is helping people. And then, that little kind of science health component. So it was just a great fit.
Yeah, that's nice. It's nice that it was able to combine the two interests that you had. What about, is there like a specific case or a moment in your career where you were like, this is what I was meant to do in life? Or
So no one's ever asked me that. So I'm going to give you an answer that no one's ever gotten, which is really, really cool. And because all of this, it's not confidential, it's fine. Weirdly enough, it was my mom and my little sister. That was the first personal injury cases that I ever handled.
You handled the case for your mom and your sister?
I did. And you know what's weird about it? If you interviewed her, what's kind of cool about that is, I was a baby lawyer. I had never handled a personal injury case. I knew people who had, but my mom had been turned down, weirdly enough, by 3 other lawyers, right? They said, she had gone to just some conservative care. It was chiropractic care and like an urgent care. And so, it wasn't a ton of treatment. There wasn't a ton of damage to the car. There all these things. It's weird, that you're bringing that up, because now it's kind of like, I hear this on a daily basis still to this day about other people. But they had been turned down, and I just knew I needed to help Mom and Lauren. That was it. And so when I did, the way that I handled it was just through advocacy. Remember, I didn't know really anything, right? So I was just going for it, and I was just, I love the word pontificating, right? Like just, I was just saying what I was saying was the gospel.
Yeah.
And sure enough, I was able to do a good job. My mom, of course, she's like my biggest cheerleader, right? So she was just like, oh, you're just the best lawyer of all time. All these other lawyers didn't take my case. And anyway, it worked out great because they ended up, again, resolving their injuries. It was great. So after that, I was like, wow, I really enjoyed the advocacy, right? Like fighting for somebody. These other lawyers good lawyers had turned these 2 people down who needed help. And, this is my family. So, it's interesting. I think that just at the time I was doing family law, and I'm going to tell you something about family law. You either love it or you hate it. Everyone says that. And for me, personally, I really connect with clients, and it's, again, those kind of issues are very heavy, very heavy. And I really just found that my advocacy was I could go full bore with personal injury, because somebody's hurt, man. How do you not empathize with that, So anyway, that's an interesting question that you gave me, because no one's ever asked me that. And that's probably truly, if I'm reflecting, that's probably the moment where I was like, wow, I want to do this for people.
Yeah, I can imagine, being able to apply all of your expertise. Well, you said you were a young lawyer, but being able to use that to help your family, I can imagine that's a very exciting and, kind of transformative moment for you. I can empathize. I majored in criminal justice in my undergrad and had a huge interest in advocacy. I interned at the Cherokee DA's office in the victim advocacy program. So that was like everywhere where I wanted to go. And then getting this job with the foundation, it's virtually advocating for them and for educational resources in the community. So I can really empathize with that side of it, with the advocacy and just wanting to be a voice for your community.
Yeah, we work, it's funny you say that too, because we work obviously in horrible circumstances. We have to work with victims assistants in the DA's office all the time. I was talking to someone yesterday, believe it or not, on a case that I have, and it's great. You can just fight for these people who really need your help, these kind of victims and stuff. So that's super cool. You did that. It's great.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, so people have assumptions about injury law. What do you wish the public understood about what the job actually is?
I wish, and I'll say it this way, I'll talk about the job, and I wish just in general, I wish people understood at this point in time truly how much you need us. You don't realize it until you're in that situation. And you're exactly right. There's always those mantras of like, ambulance chaser and all this other stuff. And then what happens, you get in the situation and you go, oh my gosh, I'm facing this machine that is built to, devalue my claim, undermine my injuries, do those kinds of things. I've got to have somebody who knows what they're talking about. So that's number one. And then number two, I would also say this about my job is we love our clients. We love to talk to people. And so I think a lot of times people are afraid to kind of call us because they don't know. They've seen stuff on TV, they've seen, all the things on billboards, and it can give off a weird vibe. Like, should I call them? Should I not? Are they reputable? Are they not? Are they honest? And I'm going to tell you, there's some bad actors out there. There are, absolutely. And so I wish people knew about the job, that there truly are people out there that are ready to fight for you. I also will say this. I think people think that personal injury is super easy. It is not at all. It is very, very, very difficult. We fight and fight and fight and have to. And I mean, literally, I talk about it's like a minefield. And we know how, we're like a minesweeper going through the minefield, just making sure, okay, and it's every little thing. A lot of that is not to throw shade, but it's the truth. A lot of it is driven by the insurance industry creating negative laws, really to save their own pocketbook. And you have to know how just even getting to trial, is a arduous task. So you better have somebody that knows how to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what makes you different? What separates you from any other injury firm?
So a couple of things, I would say. Number one is, so we're litigation trial attorneys, okay? That's the first big separator. If you had like if you can imagine, like if you're searching for a new car or something like that, you know how you can go in and you can like filter, right? So the first big filter, in my opinion, is, does your attorney know how to go to trial, right? Even if, I'd say that even if they're not even good at it, right? But just, are you, number one, can your attorney navigate a courtroom? The one thing, I mentioned family law a little bit ago. The one thing that was really a big blessing about that was I was in the courtroom 4 days a week. So, courtroom is a second home. There's no problem. I know how to represent myself, be professional, and to speak up on somebody else's behalf. That skill has not left, which is really good. So it's been able to translate over. That's number one, what I think makes us different. Number two, we overly communicate. So if you can't tell, I'm very passionate. I love what I do. And so a lot of times I have to tell my clients, like, hey, if I'm giving you too much information, I'm so sorry. I just want you to know what I know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is a long career of cases. So I would say that, yes, we have the knowledge. We overly communicate with our clients, which is the number one complaint about personal injury. There are certain firms out there who tout how large they are and that they are larger than everybody else and how great they are at that. And they never talk to their clients. I had a client who maybe left one of those firms and came to us and said, I haven't heard from my attorney in over a year. And when I tried to get in touch with them, they said that they were booked out a year just to talk to my attorney. It's crazy. Okay.
That's wild.
Yeah. So communication for sure. That's another thing. The other part is, and I'll just say this, is just overall true care for our client. A lot of people say you're not just another number, you're not all these kinds of things, but I'm just going to tell you, we develop relationships with our client. Main reason is, how can you tell somebody's story to 12 strangers, if it has to go to trial or something like that, or even to an adjuster or another attorney? How can you tell that person's story if you don't truly understand them, right? Our empathy is very, very high for our clients. And so, that, and honestly, the last thing I'd say is results. I got to give our team a lot of credit. We know what to do in a case. We know how to maximize the value of a case in the right way, and I think it gives us a lot of credibility. I will say this too, one of the biggest compliments that I've ever gotten, and it happens on a regular basis, is we have a couple different defense firms that will refer us cases or send cases to us and say, hey, we can't handle this because of conflict X, Y, and Z. Go to Pritchard Injury Firm. This is supposed to be my enemy.
Right.
But every time I hear the same thing, Zach, I know you're going to care. I know that you're going to get them the absolute best that they possibly can, and you're going to represent them the way that I would want to. That's from a defense lawyer. I hear that. Yeah, well, I appreciate that. Right? I'm going to tell you, it takes a lot of work to live up to that. You know, you really have to practice what you preach, as they say. But we do it because we're passionate and we love what we do. So that's a long-winded answer.
No,
but
that's fantastic.
That's what kind of sums us up, yeah.
So like you said, you've been in the community for the past 30 years. What is your favorite part of the community? Cartersville, Bartow, whichever you prefer.
Man. Right, like that, I could shoot a whole episode on that in and of itself. But I will say this, Cartersville is a very special place, right? You know, we say things, over the years I've heard this and I've used this myself and said we take care of our own, right? And I mean, I think, you know, the Etowah Foundation, right? I mean, that's just living proof right there is how to, you know, to really pour back into the community. Cartersville is so philanthropic. Cartersville cares about itself. And I say Cartersville too, but that's kind of expanding even out into Bartow County. And it's very, very, you know, just a special place to grow up. It's still, even though we've seen massive expansion, it's still got a great hometown feel. I mean, it's so cool because, like, you know, everyone knows everyone, cares about everyone, and generally that just makes it a great place to live. I mean, it just really does. It's a special community. It's kind of like Friday Night Lights, right? A little bit, you know. Of course, we're all big about our sports in Bartow County, which is great. But Cartersville in general really strives to do better and to even as it grows, even as it gets better. I know this is tough for our leadership, right? Is to keep that tightness, right? That's a tough, you know, a tough row to hoe there. But they've done a great job, and I know they're continuing to work towards doing that. So it's just a special place to raise kids, and I mean, it's just special is about the only thing that comes to mind. I mean, about this place, what I love about it.
Yeah, I I grew up in Virginia and moved to Cherokee County when I was 16, and I've worked in Cherokee County for most of being here. But when I got the position at the foundation and came over to Cartersville, I was like blown away by how many nonprofits are in such close proximity to each other, and also a majority of the people who I come in contact with, when I'm like, "Are you from Cartersville? Like, where are you from?" They're like, "I'm born and raised. Like, I've never left," and that's something that I really didn't experience very often in Cherokee County. So it was so cool to know that, like, there's such a interesting change in community 30 minutes away, you know, like it changes so drastically depending on where you are. So let's see, you're launching the Pritchard Community Challenge. Every month through the end of the year, they're going to be matching gifts up to $5,000 a month.
That's right.
What's one thing that you want people to understand why you show up in the way you do for the foundation?
Well, you've already just touched on it just a second ago when you said, you know, people are born and raised here, and then also, you know, come back here, stay here, haven't left, whatever. And then also all of this philanthropy. It's a very clear mantra. People want this community to be better, and that's what we want. I want these kids to, you know, again, they may not come back here. That's okay. But I want, if you go out into the world, that you are, you know, born and raised right here in Bartow County, Cartersville, and to have the skills that you need in life, no matter what it is. It is so important. In our mission in Pritchard Injury Firm is giving back, you know. Also, of course, you know, glorifying God, that's absolutely the way it is. But also making sure that as we're blessed and we continue to fight and succeed for the people that we love, our clients, that we're also not forgetting why we're here. And that's to make this community, and, you know, again, you mentioned Cherokee County. Yeah, we've got doing the same thing in Woodstock, you know, and in Chattanooga. And so, you know, it's just so important, though, that we don't lose sight of that. It's so easy, I think, you know, again, I talked about some people, you know, there's some firms that you can tell are just prioritizing other things, but there's going to be a legacy left by Pritchard Injury Firm. And, you know, at some point I want somebody to say, you know, wow, I was a recipient of this, and they were such a donor or whatever else, and they made this possible. I just believe that's a responsibility we have, So it's part of our mission, and that's why we're doing what we're doing.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I guess that sort of answered my next question, which was, what would you want your family name to stand for, especially in Bartow County, as a legacy, I guess?
Yeah, is leaving, giving. I tell our team at the Monday, firm meetings, I'll always tell them we always want to be humble, hungry, and hardworking, right? So if my family was known for the same thing, that would be fantastic. I want to make sure that we're good stewards for Christ. We're making this place better than we found it, and ultimately, I think if by doing that, I can tell you in today's world, especially in education, some of the things that are really disheartening is that I think education sometimes is taking a backseat, or it's being diluted, a little bit. And we want students to know that there are people out there just beyond the walls that care about their education, that care about what they're going to do, that are going to pave a better path, in my opinion, a better path forward in the future, whatever that looks like. But it is truly, when you get to this age and you get to kind of this level, and you start realizing, oh my goodness, in just a couple decades, it's not going to be on us anymore. You know what I mean? It is going to be on those future generations. So, my family, I want my family, and more importantly, my kids, to know that we are servants, in every aspect of our life, Now, of course, when it comes to the way I advocate, I'm very aggressive, so I'm a little different when I do that, but that's to achieve the goal. But when it comes back to being service, that's being, again, those three H's: humble, hungry, and hardworking. So.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, to finish this sentence, the best part of my job is?
Oh my God. The people. The people. And that means everybody. My staff. I absolutely love my staff. The people that come through our doors. I love the people I get to serve. So that's truly the best part. Is I can just tell you, it's kind of cool. Over my career, you have those people who have made that transition from clients to friends, and that's a cool feeling, Of course, that didn't happen with everybody. Because this is a job. I'm just their attorney, and a lot of people don't want to see their attorney. But, I've got one guy, he texts me all the time. He's a basketball player out in Dallas, and I helped his family like 15 years ago. It's so long ago. But he'll be like, every time he'll be like, hey, what's up, family? How you doing? That's what he calls me. So, just letting you know I'm doing this, and he'll show me, like, of course, highlights of him dunking and all this other stuff. So I'm like, it's so cool. But he's so great, and I love them to death. They are truly close family friends now. That's just the best part, is the people. So again, it kind of goes back in what we were talking about before, is the people who walk through our door, the people who I pass on the street. Love this community. I'm so very blessed to get to do something that I love each and every day. So best part of the job is the people.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. I know this is our first time meeting.
Yeah.
But I've seen firsthand all of the amazing opportunities that through your support you've provided for the foundation,
happy.
And I, with Alexis as well. We'll get into that once you're in the seat. But, huge thank you from us. And
likewise, thank you.
Yeah, you're definitely. We have future centers in all of the high schools, and it's just an extra way to remind students that they do have people behind them and supporting them, and they're from the community, and they're from where they're from, and there's so many different people that are here to help, and we're very grateful to have the support, and thank you so much for coming and talking with me.
Yeah.